evening. How are you doing? So we're going to be doing this together. I have a speaking engagement with Gtext and Associate. So I just felt I should go live here so that I can also have this recorded for me. I have another phone before me here, and the Zoom is actually on this phone while this is on YouTube. So perhaps I'm not looking at this phone. Just understand that this is where the Zoom is and I'm communicating with the people here. If you are joining here, you're welcome. I welcome you. Um, just keep the engagement, drop your question if necessary. Thank you so much. Yes, very well. I can hear you. Please confirm you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, I'm a little bit much more pumped up for this training because it's my area of passion, and I've done this over and over again with different real estate companies across Nigeria and even beyond. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I want to celebrate the leadership, the should I say the committee or the coordinator, managing directors that made this happen. I want to say a big thank you to you. I believe it's not going to be a waste of time. And I also want to celebrate someone I respect so much. That is Dr. Stephen Akintayo. So when you mention real estate in Nigeria and even beyond Nigeria, you should, or your mind should go straight to Dr. Stephen Akintayo. We all have learned a whole lot from him, and we are still learning. I remember then when I used to download his videos on YouTube, I watch overnight, over and over and over again, to the point where I had to start designing carousels based on what I learned from him. You understand? So I believe this is home for me, and I also believe that we are set to learn from what I have learned from him. So please, can I have my slides so that I can just dive in? And I also want to know how many minutes I have so that I can stay within the time you are allocating for me, because there is so much we can discuss around real estate and content strategies. So I'll just wait for my, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Please, I would love you to engage as much as possible. Please stay on the first slide for now. I would love my audience to engage as much as possible so that we can have that free flow. Thank you so much. So basically, creative content strategy for real estate. That's exactly what we are going to be discussing today. And the key part of it is the part, the subtitle that says that why should you, or standing out in the midst of, standing out in a saturated market. Standing out in a, when I discuss real estate, it's fun because the principles of real estate are simply the principles of sales. And I have been in sales for close to a decade. I've realized that there is always an overlapping of strategies in sales and strategies in real estate. Of course, sales strategy works in every business, but when it comes to real estate, it's a game of sales. It's purely game of sales. Now, how you go about it is now what might differ. But simply is to say that I mentioned before that I've always followed Dr. Stephen Akintayo back to back, because then I was selling real estate for other companies before I now, paused and major into sales and marketing. And if there's anybody to learn from today, I would say we should just go back and listen to or watch all his YouTube videos and just internalize them. If you can do that, you are good to go. I mean, that's game on. But I also believe that the reason why we're having this session today is for us to digest the things we probably have learned before, or to bring to our remembrance, or to look at new strategies that could work in real estate, and also how to stand out in a saturated market. So why exactly are we discussing this? Can I have the next slide? Why do we have to stand out? Why do we have to stand out? That's a very interesting question. When I did a research and I realized that 90% of home buyers start their search on the internet. Whenever anybody wants to buy property, I mean, the person is ready in his mind to buy property, the person goes online first to check for what is possible online. Either to check the locations, to check the authorities that could be, to check the prices, to compare prices and all. They first go to the internet. And I will challenge you, or I want to ask you to do this perhaps after this training. Go on Instagram and type real estate. I'm sure that you will not be able to scroll to the end of the list, because there are hundreds of thousands of real estate companies. Those are the ones that are using Instagram. Now go to TikTok and type real estate. Go to YouTube and type real estate. That means there are several of them. And a first time home buyer will go on those platforms to search for real estate. What is the possibility of the person finding you? What is the possibility? Uh, I would say that the possibility is 1%. If that is, if you don't have a strong social media, or social media platform, if you have maybe 10%, maybe 20%, but it is always a very competitive place to be. So the question is that, are you selling homes or you are selling dreams? And I want you to think about that question very well. Are you selling homes? Are you selling properties? Are you selling land? Or you are selling dreams? I want you to answer that question. It's a rhetorical question, but I want you to answer the question. Can I have the next slide, please? Are you selling? What are you selling exactly? Have you thought of it? What exactly are you selling? Are you selling properties or you are selling dreams? Now, the next slide says the saturated market problem. So there are too many agents using same tactics. I mean, if you check, I have some people send me broadcasts every week, some every month, just so that I can buy property, and I see the same thing repeat itself. People use the same strategy. Buy this property, the best location. Um, think of it. We all know the language because I've once been there. I've used the language over and over again. So what is that? Because the idea of saying all this is to help us, to bring us to a place where we now understand that if we keep doing the things that everybody is doing, there's no difference. There's no point being in this training if you want to keep doing what everybody is doing. What you need to do is just to go back and keep doing what you are doing. But the question now is that what you are doing inside of yourself, do you think or have you seen enough result or an upward trajectory in the strategies you are using? It's possible that you use the same idea, the same strategy, and get results here and there or once in a while. But the question is, are you seeing that this strategy would give you result on the long run? Because as time goes by, the competition increases. More people are coming into real estate. People that do not even have any idea about real estate. Now look at you, but some of them have money to pump into marketing, but you have been here for years. Perhaps you don't have enough money to pump into marketing, but you are doing the job. You are trying your best. You are posting every day. The saturated market problem. So buyers are overwhelmed by similar listings, you know, strategies. We know that the strategy is good, but the differentiator, like I stated here, the differentiator is content. Content is the differentiator. Can I have my next slide? Content is the differentiator. Hope I still have our attention. Please, we'll dive into the interesting part very soon. So what creative content can do for you? So the topic for this is creative content strategy for real estate. How can you get creative when you are marketing your property? I used to tell people when I do training on real estate that when you don't sell in real estate, you cannot eat, because it's a game of sales. The only time when you can say you can boast of, except for if you are in a managerial role, but for realtors, when you don't sell, you cannot eat. That means you have to take your sales very, very important. And one thing that helps stand you out amidst so many people is how you deploy your content, is the strategies you use for your content. And that's exactly where we are looking at what creative content can do for you. Number one is that it can build trust and credibility. Every time we look at real estate, people always, can I ask you a question? If you want to buy a property right now, let's say you are not in real estate, what is one reason why you can buy a property from somebody, um should I say somebody that is just starting a real estate company? What is one reason you can buy a property from somebody that is just starting a real estate? I bet you the only reason you can do that is because you trust the person. The only reason why you can do that is because you trust the person based on the person's personal relationship with you. So there are people that perhaps are going to start real estate in the next 1 month, and yet they will make sales. Why? Because the people that will buy from them are not buying. So this is what I tell people. We are in Gtext holdings, we are selling for Gtext homes. People are going to first buy you before they buy Gtext. Oh, I don't know if anybody's getting me. People are first going to buy you before they buy Gtext. Why? Because they can hold you responsible. But if you have not built the trust and the credibility to sell, no matter who you sell for, you will struggle. So when I mentioned Dr. Stephen Akitayo, the reason why he is iconic in that space is because he has built trust with people. He has built credibility. Because the people that are buying from him knows that he will not run away. They know that he will not run away. That's why they can drop their money. So it is not about, and people have misunderstood this. I've seen it several times. It is not about how cheap or how expensive your property is. It is about how much trust people have in you and how much credibility you have built. Now, I have another question for you. Can somebody invest 1 million naira in you? I would love someone to ask, can somebody invest 1 million naira in you? Not in any business, in you. If anybody can do that, if anybody can trust you enough to invest 1 million naira in you, then they can buy property from you. So that explains the fact that it is a game of trust and credibility, not the property, not the company you are selling for. It's very good when the company has credibility also, because after checking the person's, the realtor's credibility, you now want to check the company. Okay, if I'm buying from Ola, I know Ola, but the company is selling for, I don't trust them. I've seen issues of scam and all that. I won't still buy. But even if I don't know the company at all, and it's Ola I know, and there's no negative information about the company, I would give Ola my money and I'll tell Ola to secure my property for me. That's exactly how it works. So the game, what I want to drive our attention to this evening, first of all, and I want this to sink. If you can get this, game on. As a matter of fact, if I can stop this slide, if I can stop this presentation here, and you can get this, it will change the game for you. And not only in real estate, it will change the game in every aspect. Whether or not you go into real estate, you move from real estate, you go into solar, you leave solar, you go into shoemaking, people will always bet on trust. People will always bet on trust. So what I'm helping us to see right now is that you have work to do on yourself. Let's leave sales apart right now. There are people that are selling properties. They don't know anything about, they don't know jack about sales. All the principles about sales you know, they don't know anything. What they know or what they have is that they have people that can trust them to some extent. And those people have the money to pay for what they are selling. So you can see people that when you have conversation with them, you just feel you are better than this person. But how come this person is making more sales? It's because they have built trust and credibility. So there's a place for sales techniques and strategies. But I want to nail this down, that building trust and credibility cannot be compared to anything. So the next aspect is create emotional connection. So, I asked a question earlier. I said, are you selling homes? Are you selling properties, or you are selling dreams? This is very important because there are hundreds or thousands of people that are selling homes and properties. But there are only few people that are selling dreams. When it comes to real estate is not cheap. We have to be sincere to ourselves. When you see a real estate worth or a land worth 500k, you have to think twice because it's not cheap. Now, the money most times is not the problem. The problem is that, can you hear me? Are you struggling to hear me? Please let me know before I go too far. Hope you can hear me very well. Please, you can hear me, please drop your best emoji if you can hear me so that we can continue. You can hear me very well. Oh, good. Blessing, you can hear me. Thank you so much. So like I said, create emotional connection. So people buy with emotion and they justify with logic. Have you ever bought something you do not need, and when you got home you felt okay, you ask yourself, why did I buy this shoe, or why did I buy? Is there anybody like that in the house? You bought something you don't need. It was when you now got home that you realize that, wait, why exactly did I buy this? Then you now have to encourage yourself that, okay, well, even if you don't use it, you can always give it to your younger ones, or you can always dash it out, or make use it as a gift for someone. It has happened to many of us over and over again. Why? Because we buy with emotion, but we justify with logic. So until we get to a place where our prospects are emotionally connected to what we are selling, you've not nailed it. So you have to get your prospect to a point where they are emotionally connected. And how do you do that? We go back to the first question I asked. Are you selling homes, or you are selling dreams? Because every one of us right now, the reason why we are on this call is because of our own personal dream. It's not because of Gtext homes or Gtext holding. The reason why you are on this call is because you want to actualize your dream. We are all concerned about our dream. We are selfish beings. It's not a big deal. It's okay, as long as we are not using crooked way to achieve our dreams. So people want to make their dream happen. And when you look at wealthy people, one of the major way they accumulate wealth is in real estate, because what wealth means to some people is ownership. And one thing you can own that can mean a lot to you, or that can be very valuable and always increase in value, is real estate. I think of many other things. You can buy shares, you can buy cars, you can buy, but real estate, you don't have to do anything on it. It will keep appreciating. So real estate is what I call people's major dream. So what you now do is to paint it, not as buying property but actualizing dream. So I want you to go back after this session, go back and look at all your content, start changing them from buy property, buy location to achieve your dream, make your dream happen. This is where you want to raise your kids, this is where you want to raise your future, this is the kind of mentality you want for your kids. You want your kids to be in an estate, you want your kids, that's exactly what will resonate with them. So when you post on Instagram or you do a sponsored ad, if you are telling them to come and buy property, what they are looking at, please listen, what they are looking at is the price. What they are looking at is the price. But when you change the narrative to this is where you want to raise your kids, what they are looking at right there, what they are seeing is their dream. They're now thinking of, okay, if I raise my kids here, they can go to the best school. All this mindset that we are trying to flush from ourselves, they will not have the wrong mindset. They will be among they are thinking, they are now overwhelmed with themselves. So the next question they will ask themselves is, okay, can I trust this person to drop my money? Create emotional connection. Then the next action is that you have to generate leads. You have to generate leads. You have to generate leads. So when I talk about real estate, I talk about sales. Like I said before, I said overlapping. There is if you can't sell really and you have not built trust, there's no point being in real estate because it's a game of sales. You have to generate leads. Now take for instance, let's say you are not so good at sales. You can only convert one out of 10. You are not good, you are still on your way, you just started, but you can convert. And I need us to know your level of expertise, how good you are at converting sales or at closing deals. You have to know how good you are on a scale of 1 to 10. How many, if I give you 10 leads right now from ads or so, people that have showed interest, how many of them can you close successfully? If you don't know that, then you have to sit back, you have to go back to the drawing board, because you have to know where you are in the scheme of things so that you can know how to grow from where you are. You have to generate sales. So let's say you can only close 1 out of 10. Now if you double your leads and you now have 20 leads, then you can close 2 out of 20. If you have 100 leads, that means you have a chance of closing 10 out of 100, or worst case scenario, you close 5. So that means the more the leads you have, the more sales you can get. So if right now, if you're on this call and you don't have a bucket of leads you are following up on, you are wrong. In real estate, as a matter of fact, you are not taking it seriously. You should have at least 100 people you know that, okay, these people, not people you just message randomly that didn't have the interest of buying, people that have said, I like this your property, I would like to invest. So it's either they don't trust you enough to drop their money, or they don't even have the money yet, or they are interested but you don't have their own location, or you have their location, they are not ready yet, they want to talk to their husband, they want to be sure that there are objections like that, and I handle sales objections a lot. So there are several objections like that, but you need to have leads you are following up on. There was a time I was listening to Grant Cardone, and he said most of the sales comes from follow-up. Most of the sales comes from follow-up. So you need to have leads. You need to have leads. So this major, if I stop my presentation, I believe that from my own heart I'm fulfilled. If you can do this, and it's a lot of work, building trust, credibility, creating emotional connection, generating leads, is something you have to sit down and immerse yourself in it and draw out your own strategies yourself. How can you go about it? Then the next is position yourself as an expert. Last year I don't know who handled it last year, but I did a training also on real estate for Gtext and associate. And I majored on this becoming an authority in your space because it is very important. The reason why Dr. Stephen Akintayo can do what he's doing right now is because he has become an authority. So what an authority does for you is that it puts you on a cruise such that you are not running after people, people are running towards you. And you know the Bible also says, he said grace and mercy, goodness and mercy shall follow us. In life we have to get to a point where things are running after us, we are not running after things. And that is what becoming an authority is. And that's why the Bible says we should take dominion, because it wants us to be an authority in our space. If you are in real estate, if you are in sales, it wants you to become an authority. Everybody can become an authority. But the reason why most people will not become is because it's not easy. Man, you are going to work your ass off. It's not going to be easy, but it pays off. Look at where Dr. I will keep referring to Dr. Stephen Akita because that's what most of us can relate to. There are other people, but he has he has he has given us a good example to follow. He has showed us that this thing can work if we follow his path. So he has become an authority in the space, which is very good. So we also have to now start building our expertise to become an expert, such that when you're friends, you know, the funnest part is that there are people around you that will buy property tomorrow, but when they think of buying the property, they might not think of you. They know you are their friend, they talk to you, but they won't tell you. Why? Because they feel just trying. But when you become an authority in the space, they consult you. They consult you before they take their action. Can I have my next slide? I want to know how many minutes I have left so that I can stay within time. So the next slide, start with you. Start with you. I've mentioned this before. People buy from the people they trust. People buy from the people they trust. So how do you now build the trust? How do you build the credibility? Perhaps you are here, you are just overwhelmed, you feel okay, I don't have, I have not built my trust. Where do I start from? How do I start navigating? Is very, very simple. To start is simple. It's just to keep up that is not simple. Everybody, anyone on this live session can start right now. It's just to keep up that I can't guarantee. So the first thing you can do is that you have to start sharing your stories and your values. If people will buy you, like I said, people buy people they trust. If people will buy you, then they have to know you and they have to know your values. If people will buy you, they have to know you. So you have to start sharing your story and start sharing your values. If people cannot take your yes for yes, and that's integrity, then there is an issue with your credibility. That means you can tell me the property is worth 1 million, but the property is not worth 1 million. Or you are claiming that the property is the best in the location, but you only said it because you wanted to get the sales. You are not true with your word. So you have to start sharing your stories and your value. Then you also have to start sharing behind the scene content. Content right now, design is very good. Design communicates, communicates with your audience. But what content, or where we have gotten to in content creation, is majorly videos. Videos now works much more than design, or much more than carousel, because people have low attention span, and yet they want to interact with people in real life. And that's why AI cannot really take over. AI cannot substitute man, because that emotional connection is not yet there. I don't know how far AI will go, perhaps, but to some extent, human want to communicate with real human. If you are running ads to a page and it is a prompt to answer, you will realize that you will get low engagement on that page because they know that they are not chatting with a real person. So they want to be sure that you can feel what they are feeling, you can empathize with them. Very, very important. So you have to start sharing behind the scene. People know you post real estate content, they know you post designs. um Gtext properties are always on your status, but people have not seen you on a site before. Why should they buy from you? They've not seen you go for allocation before. They've not seen you do video in an apartment you are selling before. Why should they buy from you? They have to see your behind the scene. They have to know what exactly is going on. You have to carry on. So it's a journey. The idea of building trust is a journey. It's not something you can just start and say, I want to build my trust today. I've built it. No, it's a journey, and it takes time for people to trust you. So carry them along on your journey. Also, highlight client success story. Testimonials will always work. Testimonials will always work. So yeah, highlight client success story. I want you to think about this question. What is one personal story you can share to build trust? What is one personal story? If you can't think of it right now, just write the question down. What is one personal story? Something that is very personal to you, or something that happened to someone very close that you can share to build trust. Please, next slide. Like I said, we have moved from design in content, we have moved from design to videos, and we have to take it very, very seriously. As a matter of fact, this year I told myself I was going to get intentional about my YouTube, and I'm going to discuss that with us later. You have to capture attention with videos. Property walkthrough and drone footage are very, very sweet. Then there are some other ideas. So one thing I did when I was still selling properties was that I did a 30 days challenge. And do you know that from that challenge I did, people still reach out to me today when it comes to real estate. I did a 30 days challenge. I was doing a video, a very short video, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds. I was just talking about real estate. I was not advertising, I was not telling people to come and buy any property. I was just giving out values on real estate. Top 5 things to look for when choosing a home. 5 things you need to look for before buying properties. People you should not buy properties from. How to know if the real estate company is genuine. How to identify the document of a real estate company, the document to look out for. How to I was just giving out tips, and I think at that point I was able to sell. Yeah, I was able to sell some at least to like 10 people. I sold properties to 10 people. So do videos and share content before you start asking people to come and buy. Give them enough content so that you can start building your trust. Also showcase unique. Nala, shut up. Also showcase unique property features. Move from yeah, okay. Well, I'm not a big fan of showing features. However, people need to know exactly what they are buying. Show them more of the benefits and paint the emotional aspect to them. But of course, they need to know exactly what they are buying. So let them know the unique features also. So there are some people that they are not so particular. They know exactly what they want. They have the money. They just want to know what you've got. They want to know the features. They want to know what is unique about the property. Some of them is not their first time they are buying property. They just want to know what is. How can you use video to highlight the listing creatively? Well, I don't know. For me, I could have my own way of doing it. I want you to think about it. How can you, looking at your audience, the kind of property you want to sell, how can you use videos? Yeah, next slide please. How can you use videos to highlight your own listing creatively? Please, next slide. I think I will start rounding up so that I can take questions. what as again, it's very power in sales, our power in real estate is in words. Even videos comes with words. So words that exclusive. Nobody wants to be see there's this fear of we call it nobody wants to miss out on anything exclusive, especially when you can afford it. Even when you can't afford it, there are people that will go to a car, they want to buy a car, they will first go to the one they can afford. They just want to have a feeling of it. So exclusive language like or words like exclusive, luxury, hidden gem, find words like that so that you can incorporate them in your content so that it won't look generic like what everybody is selling. You have to position yourself as someone that is selling something unique. So with that, you can capture some people's attention. I like benefits and not features alone. Like I said, create urgency in your listing. Create urgency. Create urgency. I know someone, and I'm not saying we should do this, but it's something that works for the person. The person will post. I think the person sells bags. On Monday, he will post a lot of bags, plenty of them. And on Tuesday, he will start saying out of stock, out of stock. I used to wonder, is it true that this person is selling? But in my mind, I'm already assuming that he actually sold out. But it might not be so true. However, is what I see that I can believe. So always create urgency. Find a way of creating urgency in the property you sell. When you say there are two properties here, do not increase it to three, except it actually increased to three. So let people bring people to a point where they can take your word for what you are saying, and also create urgency in what you are saying. Please, next slide. I will try to round up now so that I can take questions, so we can dive deep into what we have. I believe I still have perhaps 10 minutes or 8 minutes more. Yeah, go where your buyers are. Leverage on social media platform, Instagram reels, TikTok, YouTube shorts. Go where they are, go and meet them, go live and collaborate with authority in the sector. And this is very, very important. If you have people that are doing well, might not be in real estate, might be in other sectors, why not go live with them? Let people see you with them. What you are doing is that you are transferring their authority to yourself. When people see you with them, they feel okay. For this person to relate to this person, that means this person is not a small person, something like that. So you are creating a perception for yourself in the mind of your audience. Then be consistent online. Become top of mind. Be consistent, especially where the aspect of your content creation. Be consistent. Give value over and over again. As a matter of fact, there's a way someone put it. He said, give 10 values, then ask once. Give 10 values, then ask once. Next slide, please. I have a question on this next slide. It said, which platform do you think your ideal client use most? I'm not going to answer this for you, but I believe you should know which platform do they use most. Honestly, where exactly sell this land is worth 10 million? Where can I find the people that can buy this property? If you can answer that question, you will know the next step to take. Perhaps you have to join an association, you have to join a club, you have to answer the question of where you can find your clients. Then sell the lifestyle, not just the property. I've mentioned this before. People have dreams and they want their dreams to be actualized. Some people, their dream is that their children will not go to any local school. They want to they grew up with a very negative mindset. They want to try to correct it from childhood, from their children. So I like local amenities. What would they enjoy around the property? Schools, parks, attractive you know centers and all. Collaborate with local influencers and businesses. Collaboration is very, very important when it comes to marketing and sales. Collaborate. The community culture. For example, if you are selling properties in Ibadan, you have to make sure that the culture Ibadan is ingrained in your content. If you are selling properties in Lagos, you have to ensure that the culture of Lagos, because people can identify the culture naturally. So if you say brown roof in Ibadan, people in Ibadan can identify because they are used to that. They want to stop and look, okay, brown roof, we are here. So imbibe, mix the culture of the region. If you are selling properties in Dubai, mix that culture in your content. Next slide, please. Can I have the next slide? Yeah, I think this should be the last slide for my presentation. What one unique feature of your community you could showcase? The properties you are selling right now, what is one unique feature you can showcase that you think will get attention? You have to magnify that feature, talk about it, display it, do videos about it. Next slide, please. All right, yeah, so I'm going to wrap up here. There's a lot we can talk about, but I know time is against me. So I want to ask you another question. I've displayed so many questions here. And it does not happen until you are able to answer some questions and you are able to take action or make decisions from the questions. So that is why I display questions a lot. Learning happens when you are able to answer questions and you are able to make decisions from the questions you have answered. What is one strategy you will start using from today? Because it is very possible. You can start with one strategy today. If you can do a strategy, one of these strategies, you can do them so well, if you can do it so well, I believe that even if you don't close a deal, people will start asking you questions around real estate. And when you have people come to you and say, I want to buy real estate, but I'm not sure of the location, what do you think? Then you know that, okay, they are perceiving you as an authority. That is, you have started building that thing in the minds of people, and you have to build it in the minds of a lot of people, especially those that have the money to buy the property that you sell. So what is one strategy you start using today? So I have a gift for us, but I will take questions, then I will go back to, I still have one more slide here. So please, let me take questions before I go to the gift I have. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, okay. Before you come up, I didn't know that my friend is here. Let me just acknowledge him before I hand over. I want to appreciate Joe. He's a very good friend. We have been friends for a while now, and we have done a number of things together. And I also want to say congratulations on your new appointment. Thank you so much for the privileges over time. I really appreciate. Thank you, Joe. All right, all right. Thank you so much. I was hoping to get questions because I have questions for us beyond the ones I've asked. But however, okay, all right, good, good. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. So I'll just perhaps we might still have questions. I'll just go to the gift I have. If I can have my slide. So I have two gifts for us today. One is a book. I got a book recently and it has helped me in my content creation, especially on YouTube. The book is so valuable that I don't recommend it to people except trainings like this where I know people are ready to do something with it. So I want to give the book out. It's going to be free. It's an ebook I was giving. Someone gave me also, one of my mentors gave me. So I'm going to be giving the book out. That's one value I want to offer. And I'm also willing to connect as many people on this live session. Then the second gift I want to give out is a lifetime value on my YouTube channel. I just started a YouTube channel this month. I just started taking it serious rather. So to get the book, I'm going to ask as many people to perhaps go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, then message me on WhatsApp, then I can forward the book to them. So I believe that is fair enough. So the book is very valuable. I'm going to give it for free, but however, I want to connect with you also. Then on the YouTube channel, I have some videos there, and I'm going to be posting more videos I think will be very valuable to as many people that are willing to learn and also get better. So those are the two gifts I have for us. Um, so to get my contact, you can reach out to anyone that has it. You can always get my contact from them. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So if you are finding it difficult to see my YouTube channel, you can just go to my Instagram. The link is on the bio. You can click it and it take it to YouTube.